This is just a classic hip windshield wiper drill, or working through internal and external hip rotation side to side. So there's a couple options that we can go with on this. So a lot of people will have one side where it's a lot easier to sit into a 90-90 position than the other. So if you watch me on this side is really tough due to this, you know, hate to blame it on an old injury, but intermedullary rod in this femur, and this hip just doesn't play nice. So in those scenarios, as we're going through these ranges of motion, going from our starting point here, we want to try to just get tall through the spine. Imagine you got a plate of food on your head. You're trying to maintain that position so you don't kind of escape into flexion as we move through here. We're trying to get you to move through your hips, not move away or from your pelvis. And then we'd like to try to keep the knees around 90 degrees. Now, one of the first options is if you're limited in rotation, or maybe flexibility through the posterior chain, and that's really dumping you into flexion, just move your feet out a little bit, and that may help. Coming in at 90. So first things first, if I'm moving into this, I want to try to like hook the ground with my heels. Those are my fulcrums of rotation. So if you watch my feet are, or my hips are going to follow my feet now. So I'm going to rotate into right hip internal rotation, left hip external rotation, and hang out. So now this is kind of an active motion. Now I could go through, you know, other motions from here. I'm going to come back to neutral. I like to reset spine position. I'd start walking towards, or, you know, crawling towards the camera if I let myself go. Now on my not so awesome side, I'm going to use a second option. I'm going to use a little bit of assistance in the back. We'll have a lot of people that have to lean completely back in this position. Maybe they can't even get the legs to the ground, but we want to work actively. Now, as soon as I can, I'm going to move away from that assistance. And again, moving into the opposite direction. So internal, external rotation, moving back to neutral. That's a hip windshield wiper.